Ubisoft plans to create its own blockchain games to enable more play to earn.
What?
Now, this is not just Ubisoft. I saw an article with EA plans to do the same thing. Of course, EA would do the same thing, but let's look at what this is, and then I will kind of talk about what I think it could turn into, right?
Okay.
Ubisoft just concluded its Q2 earnings call, a strange event where relatively okay financial numbers were overshadowed by the company being on the defensive due to delays, allegations, questions about free to play, blah, blah, blah. Ubisoft's future blockchain ambitions were mentioned both in its earnings release and a few times during the call. As noted in its press release, Ubisoft is funding blockchain gaming company Animoca Brands, which advertises itself on its website as the global leader in branded blockchain gaming. Animoca's current project includes Rev Motorsport, Rev Racing, and the upcoming game Formula E High Voltage, all of which use the same token called Rev to enable players to own digital assets and collect NFT in game items. It also has a game called The Sandbox, a virtual world full of NFTs called Sand. In addition to its funding of Animoca, Ubisoft is a founding member of the Blockchain Game Alliance and has been exploring the technology generally since its early development. CFO Frederick Dugois, I don't know how to say that, specifically called blockchain a revolution on the call. It seems like everyone is getting into blockchain these days, but what does this mean for Ubisoft games? Uh, Blockchain will imply more play to earn than will enable more players to actually earn content, own content, and we think it's going to grow the industry quite a lot, Guillemot said. We've been working with lots of small companies going on blockchain, and we're starting to have a good know-how on how it can impact the industry, and we want to be one of the key players here. Um, so, blockchain NFTs and everything associated with them have been extremely controversial as they've gained mainstream attention in recent years, most notably due to their immense negative environmental. Okay, let's not get into that. That's a huge discussion in and of itself. But also due to the red alert levels of scams. Okay, I'm not going to get into these other side arguments here. We're only focused on gaming.
I mean, it's just it's there's so much to unpack. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Okay. So let me just kind of go over the basics. All right.
Mm.
So essentially, what they're saying is, okay, when you play a game with microtransactions, right? They have like Genshin Impact. They have different currencies, right?
Yes.
Well, the way this would work is you would have a blockchain that would have a cryptocurrency designed for buying in-game digital assets, right? So it's kind of a similar thing. It's a game currency, right? But
Yes.
it interacts with the blockchain, meaning, okay, let's say there's this really sweet, let's say it's an RPG, or okay, they were talking about racing game. Let's say it's a racing game, and there's an awesome car, right? And you want this car, and so uh, it's a custom car, right? There's only one.
Yes.
They create the car, they put it on the blockchain.
That's what's called an NFT.
Yeah, that's the NFT part. You then purchase that NFT using the game token, right? And now you have access to that NFT in the game. And that's what they're pushing towards. So
But wait a second. Where does the initial currency come from?
you buy it with money. But you have to buy it with money, like everything. Even Bitcoin, all of them. You have to buy them with money first, right?
But they are changing the currency of the money from,
Well, okay,
wherever you're from into cryptocurrency?
okay. So here's the thing. There's two forms, right? You can buy it with money, or they were saying earning it in the game, right? So let's say, so there's multiple ways you can do this. You can buy it with money, or you can earn it through doing certain things in the game or an environment. Here's an example. Have you ever heard of Steam It?
No.
So Steam It was a cryptocurrency, um, and the way it worked is they built a kind of like a blog site, right, where you could post articles and stuff like that. And if you posted an article that people liked, they could give you steam, right? So they could like thumbs up, and you would generate steam. Then
Okay.
you could take that steam, which was a cryptocurrency, you could sell it for real money, or you could stake it to generate more steam. I know it sounds ridiculous, but just bear with me.
Yes.
So there was a mechanic on the blockchain that interacted with this blog, where essentially you were voting on blog posts and saying this is a good blog post, and then the blockchain, or not the blockchain, but
Steam.
the nodes would have a consensus. Okay, this is a good post. We're gonna we just mined you know 10 coins. We're gonna give this popular blog post one 1 coin of Steam or whatever,
Okay.
and then it would go to the user. And so it's all integrated, right? The blockchain, think of the blockchain as it's just a database, right? It's where everything is stored. It's where all the data is stored, right? So the NFT is on the blockchain, right? But when you interact with the NFT in the game, all you're saying is, "Hey, I own this NFT. Here's the proof," because you have your uh, keys, right? That show like your public key. Hey, I have access to this NFT. Here's my public key showing that this is my NFT, and then it appears in the game for you, right? It's very. I know it's hard to explain, and it's like I feel like I'm not doing it any justice trying to explain it. I feel like I'm making it more confusing, but it's just
To be honest, I find cryptocurrency and NFTs in general confusing, so it could be just me as well. So I apologize for my ignorance on
no.
the
It's
subject.
fine. It's fine, dude. I buy cryptocurrency. It's like one of my little side hobby things, and
Yes.
I like it. I read a lot about it, but NFTs are just a tokenized representation of digital media, right?
Yes.
That's it. So a car in a video game is digital media. So it can be tokenized. But the problem is that if you're making a game that's based on this principle of NFTs and the market and all this stuff, you're basically like opening your game up to the volatility of the market, right?
Mm.
Manipulation of the market, scammers. There's so much baggage that goes with cryptocurrency. Now, that being said, I'm not saying that I think because of that they shouldn't do it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it's going to be very hard to have a game that's seamless for users to play and interact with when they have this whole, cryptocurrency ecosystem tied to the game at the same time. Um, it's going to make it more laborious, should I say, to go out and get this currency and then to use this currency to try and purchase this item. Or if it's a one of one, you have to bid on it, right? It's not just going to be like, here's a super rare car, you know just buy it. That's not how it's going to work. There's going to be you're going to be competing with thousands of gamers to bid and buy this item, and then the price is going to skyrocket. You see what I'm saying? Um,
What I'm hearing ultimately is that this isn't my kind of game, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's look. I think.
I'm gonna be stepping this one out.
Yeah, I think. Uh, I think using it, finding a way to use cryptocurrency and NFTs and the blockchain in a very what's the word?
Controlled environment.
Complementary way
Okay.
to video games, right?
Yes.
So not just taking a traditional game and then forcing it to couple to the crypto environment, but finding a way to make a game that is complemented by the crypto environment. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that there's not this like, you know, forcing of the two technologies. We got to find a way to make them work together. That's what I'm saying. And I think that's going to be the future. There's going to be a lot of experimentation with gaming and crypto till somebody comes up with a formula where it just works. You see what I'm saying? And then based on that, you're going to spawn a whole new generation of these games. So I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just saying it's not going to be as easy as just putting NFTs and attaching a cryptocurrency to a game. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's a little bit more involved than that. You're going to have to find a way for them to complement each other. And so that's what I'm looking forward to see, the evolution of that. Now, at the same time, would it be hell on earth if every single game tried to do this? I think yes. I think I think you still have to maintain your traditional games, and then you can have these new, you know, crypto-based games. But I just don't see them fully replacing traditional games at all. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because traditional games are just they're just fun. They're just easy to pick up. You know, you don't need a million tutorials to figure out how to do it. You know. Um,
No, agreed. I mean, shoot, just last night I was playing on my GameCube. I was showing you Geo specifically. I messaged him. I was like, check it out. I got the GCHD Mark II, connected that to my HD TV,
yeah.
and was playing Metroid Prime. I'm trying to figure out how to get the GCHD Mark II to work with or in tandem with the M Classic, and I'm having a hard time doing that. But aside from that, I mean, I was capable of playing that, the Naruto games on the GameCube, Skies of Arcadia, and even some Game Boy Advance games
Yeah.
via the Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy player
Yeah.
attached to the GameCube. And all I do is just put in the game and play it,
Yeah.
and I can play the full game.
Yeah.
And both Geo and I are collectors, and I see how the future is getting more convoluted, more complicated, and less user friendly. And
Yeah.
by user friendly, I mean, I guess in terms of ownership, you're not going to be owning your games. It's going to be all digital. They're going
Yeah.
to be changing things. A great example is the recent, which I'm surprised you didn't even bring this up, the GTA trilogy, and how Rockstar went ahead and just demolished any semblance of the original GTA trilogy from actual, storefronts,
No, no, no.
from digital.
We covered it.
Well, no, we covered it, but
Yeah. Yeah.
at the same time, I'm just saying, like, the new ones have come out to such a to a point where even the mods for the old things have been wiped.
Yeah. Okay. I see. Yeah. 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 And that was one of our concerns when we discussed it last time.
Yeah.
We were talking
So,
about how are they going to erase it from everything? We weren't sure, but
and they have,
well, they have. Okay.
and so, like, even the digital ownership rights of games is incredibly shaky
Yeah.
from a user standpoint. Another one, GTA 4, how because of licensing issues, they removed a lot of music, so you can't even play it the way that it was originally made. Um,
Yeah.
so like I keep hearing like all these changes, all these newfound fangled ways of playing games, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm glad I have my old games.
Yeah. Well, I
I'm
will
glad I
say
have my old
this:
systems.
the principle of NFTs is that you do own it outright, right? They,
You own a digital item outright.
yes, you own a digital item outright. Now, um, that is the big difference, right? So you do own the digital item outright. Now, that being said, every single game is not going to be able to have its own cryptocurrency. And the reason why I say that is because in order for a cryptocurrency to run, you have to have nodes which run the core software, right?
Yes.
There's just not enough computers for every game to have their own cryptocurrency. And even if,
Not enough computers yet.
I know, right? Well, even if there was, you wouldn't want that. You would want to verify the nodes. You would want to have consensus, which means that, you know, for example, I would back if so I'm going to look into this gaming currency in this article, but I would back a gaming currency that was open source, right? Because if the gaming currency is controlled by a handful of organizations, then they can manipulate it. You know what I mean? But if the gaming currency is open source and everyone can run consensus on their own personal node, then it's more trustworthy. And then I would trust that those NFTs that I purchase are mine. You see what I'm saying? But
You think Ubisoft's not going to do that?
well, here's the way that crypto works: is whoever controls the most computing power, the most nodes, can vote on the blockchain and make changes to the way that the algorithm works.
Mm.
So if Ubisoft or whatever company controls the whole thing, they can make changes without your consent. And who knows what that'll do to the worth of your NFT that you might have paid $100 for, or you might have grind 100 hours for. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, no, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, that leads me back to the whole digital rights thing, which we were just talking about,
Yeah.
where yes, you own that thing digitally speaking, but there's so many factors outside of that
Yes.
that can change the value of the item that you own. What's the point?
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying I would be looking for an open source gaming currency, and I would assume that like more indie games would probably use that type of NFT or not NFT kind of crypto. They would probably use a more open source crypto that they could plug into their game. But I don't trust a blockchain or whatever you want to call it that is controlled by a handful of people, because they can change the underlying consensus protocols, I guess is the proper term. I don't know. This is very complex. It's very nuanced. It's now in the
And there's a shit
future.
ton of factors.
Yeah, in the future, what we're going to delve into is the metaverse. So I didn't pick that this week because all these topics are already pretty dense. But stay tuned because we're going to be covering the metaverse coming up. So
And I'll be just as ignorant because I don't know what the hell's going on.
yeah, in the metaverse, this all ties into the metaverse, or what people assume is going to become the metaverse. Or
I'm just saying, like, our dystopian cyberpunk future is looking so lame compared to all the 80s representations of our retro futures.
I know, man, it's not
It
as
freaking
cool.
sucks.
It's not as cool, man. It's really not. It's like, dude, like, did you see any movie where a Shiba Inu dog was like the future of like crowd-funded currency?
Doja coin,
Or
dog,
there's three of them now, man.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Let's not get
Yeah,
into that.
but it's lame.
But yeah, there you have it. That's it for this week. I hope you all enjoyed. If you like any part of the podcast, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Let us know what you think of any of these topics. Are we wrong? Are we right? Is there some things we got right? Let us know. Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Games I Speak. If you liked the episode, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.